Hello friends, today in this special segment on Indian Premier League, we are looking at a special player. I guess you must have already guessed it, who it is. Yes, we are going to talk about Vaibhav Suryavanshi, who played out a believe it or not knock, a believe it or not 100, the second fastest IPL 100 in the game played between Rajasthan Royals and Gujarat Titans. The kind of strokes that he played just would leave anyone in a state of daze. Yes, he definitely sent seismic shocks through the cricketing landscape. So, who is this Vaibhav Suryavanshi? What's his background? What are his strengths? What were the highlights of that particular knock? Or what are his weaknesses as well? So, let's look at all of it in this deep dive on this young prodigy, young boy. Going back to that particular superlative knock against Gujarat Titans, one has to say that even if you write 1000 or 2000 words, it's difficult to describe an expressionist painter going and exploring every nook and cranny of the ground in that fashion. But you can still look at the highlights of that brilliant knock. One of them obviously was the way he played with all full of bravado, full of adventure against international class bowlers like Prasidh, Shan Sharma, very experienced cricketer in his own right, and someone like Mohammad Siraj explored every nook and cranny of the ground. Even Rashid Khan, one of the greats of T20 cricket, wasn't spared. So, what were his strengths in that particular knock? Obviously, as a back foot trigger, where he loads up on the front foot, then his back foot moves back, and he's able to play across the line through mid wicket, maybe to long on. So where does he get that power from? How does he have that kind of tremendous bat swing at such a young age? One of the main reasons must be his one of the main reasons must be a good base. Second, obviously, is mobile hips, mobility in hips, as well as stability in ankles. So all these factors, I believe, or I guess, will help him to transfer the energy onto the bat and then onto the ball. So that's in brief about the analysis. That's in brief an analysis on his power hitting, on his power packed shots. But there's more to it than just mundane analysis. So where does he come from? About his background? Let's look at little more about his background. He was born in Tejpur in Bihar. Obviously, his family had some financial difficulties. Unfortunately, his father had to sell off his farmland in Motipur when he was very young so that he can pursue his cricketing career. He was coached by Manish Oja. I think this academy was about 100 kilometers away from his home, so he had to travel a long way. And then he came to the ranks under the tutelage of Oja. He went on to score about 400 runs in the Vinomanka Trophy. And looking further, he got that brilliant 100 against Australia under 19 in the youth test at the age of 12. And in this particular innings, I think he scored those runs, scored his 100 of just 58 balls. So he missed out on the record by just two deliveries. If you go back in time, if you take a jog down the memory lane, Moeen Ali had scored it off around 56 balls in 2005 in under 19 cricket against Sri Lanka. Yes, then he went on to play in the Asia Under 19 Cup, Under 19 Asia Cup, where he was the second highest run getter for India. Yes, there was a game against Pakistan Under 19 where someone like Ali Raza troubled him, and we will talk about this weakness later on. And he also we have obviously we have to understand that this youngster, this boy, became the youngest Indian to make his first class debut when he played for Bihar since 1986. He also became the youngest Indian to make his list A debut. The previous record was held by Ali Akbar when he played for Vidarbha somewhere 99-2000, and our youngster Suryavanshi made his debut against Madhya Pradesh. In that particular list A Vijay Hazare tournament, he also cracked an impressive 42 balls 71. So that's in brief about his achievements so far. But let us also talk in brief about his weaknesses, about what he can improve, about the areas that he can improve. As I already noted, he's a backward player, mainly a backward player, in the sense that he loads up on the front foot, so his back foot, the lighter feet, will move back, and from there he tries to play across the line, or through the offside, or through long on. So one of the weaknesses, or one of the areas where the opposition can target him, as we saw against Pakistan under 19, it is by bowling it on perhaps a good length spot and then nipping away from over the wickets. That is basically with the new ball. But once the ball gets older, sometimes that tends to back away in order to manufacture room and subsidize width, and that is where pace bowler can look to tuck him up a little bit with hard length, a heavy ball. Actually, it was surprising to see Gujarat Titans not trying it much. Even someone like Prasidh, who specializes in it, after his first over, didn't attempt to bowl the hard length. But that is another topic altogether. See, these are the two weaknesses. But even there, one can see a little bit of improvement in the sense that the first game against Lucknow Super Giants, he was kind of looking to hike across the line by just clearing his front leg. But in the game against Gujarat Titans, he was definitely looking to. It was not a traditional pull shot, but it was definitely looking to play more of a pull stroke against the experienced Gujarat Titans attack. So that is a clear indicator, or that exemplifies the point that he is a cricketer who looks for continuous improvement. But definitely is a young boy. Let's not look too much into his technique. Let's not look too much into his weaknesses. Just let us celebrate a youngster who just played with full of bravado, full of fearlessness, and just treated the opposition attack as though it is just an average bowling lineup that he basically must have played in club cricket or on those lines. Wishing the youngster all the best in his future endeavors. Hopefully, he will go on to climb a lot more summits and play for India as well. Thank you.